recently helped 5 non-native English speakers become confident communicators, and we did it all without English lessons. No vocabulary lessons, no grammar lessons, none of that boring traditional stuff. What we did was focused on communication skills and real-world applications. Now, those real-world applications that we're talking about, one of the clients got new leads, one of them got an invitation to speak at other events, along with a whole bunch of compliments and other things as well. One of them had the confidence to actually speak to others in a social setting for the first time, which is great. Another one got a job in Australia. She had just moved to Australia and she got a job, which was really awesome. And then lastly, a smooth scholarship application. We're still waiting for the result, but the feeling of that process was positive. So in this video, we're going to talk about what we actually did to get them those outcomes, and so you can achieve the same results. Now, if you want a copy of this Google Doc and you want to learn a little bit more about becoming a confident communicator in English, you can apply to join our free community. There's going to be a link down in the description. Feel free to join us. Now, before we get into it, this is for ambitious professionals and entrepreneurs. This is because we have a really big focus on real results, right? We want to help you get from wherever you are right now. We want to refine your English, your communication skills, and get you the results that you're looking for. So we want ambitious people. We're looking for people who really want to take action and are not afraid to take those steps forward. Now, if you consider yourself to be an ambitious person, you want to contribute to society, it doesn't mean that you have to earn tons of money or anything like that. It's just that you want to make an impact on the world. You're the kind of person that we're looking for. Keep watching. You're going to enjoy this video. All right, let's dive in. So the problem, what worked before will not work now. The skills that you acquired to learn English in the first place, they would have encouraged you to practice a lot, to speak a lot. Then there's a certain point when you get to an upper intermediate or even an advanced level where that doesn't work anymore, and you need to be more particular about what you say. So we need to be more clear in our speech. You need to be able to analyze people that you're talking to, and these skills are not really taught in English programs. They are communication skills, and so you have to shift your focus away from learning English and more to communication skills if you want to be a better communicator. Now, it takes 1,200 hours to go from a B2 level, which is like an upper intermediate level, to a C2 level, which is considered to be almost native. 1,200 hours. If you spend 300 hours working on your communication skills, I guarantee you're going to see a much bigger improvement, especially in terms of your results. So in terms of what you can actually do with the language. Super important, right? So you can decide, do you want to spend 1,200 hours to learn all these advanced words and use the fanciest grammar structures that no one really uses? Or do you want to spend a quarter of that time improving your communication skills so that you can actually get the results you're looking for? Those promotions, scholarships, leads, starting your own business, all that kind of stuff. All those communication demands of a modern professional. Yes, I think I covered this point. Traditional English learning, it does focus a little bit too much on vocabulary and grammar. And even in business English, for example, you're going to learn a lot of words that may or may not be used in the settings that you're looking for, rather than just a focus on how do I find new clients? How do I build my personal brand? How do I crush this interview and connect with the person that is interviewing me? So what was the process? The journey was the Speak to Lead framework. Firstly, there are 3 steps basically. So the first step is to establish foundations and baselines. We're looking at a public speaking baseline, and that means speaking with a script. We're looking at a discussion baseline, a deep discussion baseline, which means to see what level you're at when you have a deep discussion on a topic that you may or may not be familiar with. And then lastly, the speaking confidence blueprint, which I'll show you here, which actually goes through and has a look at how you build confidence. What is your confidence architecture? What are some of the things that you draw confidence from in your own experience? And what are some of the things that maybe stop you from being confident? We look at all of that stuff, all of your experiences, to help paint a picture of what you need to do next. So that's the first step. Step number 2 is to learn and practice. This is obviously the biggest part of the whole program. So you're going to be learning about vocal foundations. This is actually a program you can get for free if you join our free community. And if you jump on a call with me and make sure that you're the right fit, then you can actually have this for free. And what we do in this course is focus on pace, pauses, volume, and stress, a lot of the physical skills involved with speaking, all the skills that we need to be able to control our voice, how quickly, how slowly we speak, and where we take breaths, and also how we convey emotion through intonation and tone mastery. This course will actually have a bigger impact on your speaking than probably anything else that you do. It is so essential and fundamental, and that's why I give it away for free, because I think everyone could benefit from it. Clarity and thought organization then is the next step, where we look at how you can organize your thoughts through structuring. We use communication frameworks and even frameworks from other disciplines to be able to organize our thoughts, to analyze problems and express our ideas clearly. Critical information filtering is a really interesting one. We're looking at how do we define exactly what it is we want to know when we're talking to someone. We take that thread, we practice paraphrasing, we practice summarizing, and then we make sure that we're responding to the specific thing that's being spoken about. So here it's really important to just block out all the noise and just focus on what is most important. And that can be as a listener, but also as a speaker. Both incredibly important. We also look at articulation, so how you pronounce words, but not just how you pronounce words, how you really say them, right, with clarity. And that does lean in a lot to what we do in Vocal Foundations. And lastly, self-regulation, so how you can manage and control your emotions before a high-stakes speaking situation. This, ultimately, when we speak, we get in our own way, right? If you're able to have a really good, deep conversation with someone that you trust, but then when you get into a high-stakes situation, you're not able to have that conversation, you're the reason that you can't do it. You're getting in your own way, unfortunately. And that means that it's not so much a language issue, it's not so much perhaps a vocal foundations issue, it is a self-regulation issue. And that means we need to get more comfortable with being able to manage our emotions in high-stakes situations so that you can perform freely and you can speak freely, think freely, all that kind of stuff. The next big pillar is around storytelling and persuasive speaking. You've probably heard that storytelling is incredibly powerful for building your reputation and for being able to connect with others. So it's becoming more and more common now for people to learn storytelling. The thing is, though, that I think, in my personal opinion, a lot of the resources out there overcomplicate storytelling. And so I present a really simple framework for you to be able to tell stories even if English isn't your first language. And it doesn't mean you have to use the most advanced words to tell it well. So it is a simplified version that can allow you to pick up and go and tell stories within a week or two. Public speaking hooks and concluding devices. A lot of these tools are very useful for different types of persuasion. And rhetorical devices, which is more of a language tool, but can really help us to be more persuasive and help us to also organize our thoughts as well. Strategic communication here, we've got culturally sensitive communication. We're talking about the factors that impact influence and persuasion once again. So a bit of a crossover there from the next module, but we're building these skills as we go along. And dispute resolution as well. So some tools and some strategies that help. And so if I just show you this is the classroom. This is actually the community that we run, that I run. And inside we have these courses here, these programs. We've got Vocal Foundations, Clarity and Thought Organization, Storytelling and Persuasive Speaking, Strategic Communication there. And they're all focused on helping you learn the fundamental ideas, but then also doing plenty of practice. So with each of these activities, for example, there is an activity there to help practice this specific skill set. And so that's all inside the community there, everything you need, along with getting feedback as well from me. Lovely. So once we've worked on some skills, the next part, and this is something that is missing from a lot of different programs, is the ability to apply and actually expose yourself to some of these high-stakes speaking situations. So the ability to give self-introductions, and not just once, but multiple times, and be able to refine your self-introduction so that you can master this, essentially. And so any situation, you'll feel confident to be able to give a good self-introduction. We run speech days for those that are in one of the specific programs, the Speak to Lead program that I run. So we have speech days where we give a speech, kind of like a TED Talk speech, a short one. And that is a great opportunity to practice how we practice and prepare to deliver a real speech. And hopefully we can actually use those speeches someday in the future, as those topics should be relevant if we are looking to be like a thought leader in a certain area. Podcast interviews, you have an opportunity to practice that in a simulated setting with me or with someone else to interview you. Running online workshops, something that I've done a lot of, and you'll also have that opportunity to actually do that. And a lot of these aspects around personal branding, so creating content. So you can get practice creating content, you can get advice, and when you're ready to take that next step, you can actually release it to the world, and I'll help you every step of the way. So these are some of the ways that we get you ready, we get you thinking about what is it that you want to do with your speaking, and then go and do it. And we take it every one step at a time, going through the whole process. And from at that point, when you're at the application stage, we repeat the process, essentially, and we go back and fine-tune some of the areas. We want to take our vocal foundations maybe to the next step. We want to do some baselines to see where we're at, and you can repeat this journey if you want to keep going, and that's completely up to you. So that is the process that all of the clients that I worked with followed. They didn't all have the exact same roadmap because they all have different strengths and weaknesses and different proficiency levels in different areas. But we find the strengths, we acknowledge and celebrate the strengths. We then target the weaknesses and work on those weaknesses to make sure that they are solid in these high stakes situations. Awesome. So let's have a look at what happened with the outcomes after they went through this program. So here is one of my clients here. He does quite a few speeches, and we still work together now. He was invited to speak at future events after giving a speech. He made a bunch of LinkedIn connections, which was aligned with his goals. He was just looking to grow his LinkedIn connection number, but actually meeting people face to face. And he got a lot of compliments about his speech as well. So here is him. We were having a chat about it. This is what he said.
Just wanted to say thank you so much for your help.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fantastic. There's so much improvement compared to last year.
Cool. So it was very nice to hear that, and he's really happy. He's still moving forward, and he's getting more and more speaking opportunities. So we're working more and more on that. He's getting panel discussions. He's doing guest lectures. It's very cool. Very cool. Just to highlight sort of what that process looks like. So this is a document where we do a lot of activities and the work together, but working through this speech script, for example, he basically put it together, and then we had a look at how we can enhance it using some different persuasive speaking strategies and tools. I think there were more annotations originally, yet we go through it and we discuss it, we refine it, practice it, deliver it, get the results, and then take the next step forward. Right? So this is a really professional process of making sure that you give your very best with these outcomes, with these applications. And this, for example, giving a speech really rests on all of those skills that we talked about before. All of these skills here in terms of vocal foundations, clarity, thought organization, storytelling, etc. They are all relevant to that application. Here's another client of mine. So she gave a speech at I believe it was like a keynote speech at an event, and she got an important lead for her company, range of compliments there as well. So this was just something that I posted because I was very excited about that. So the speech went well. So many people came to me afterwards saying I had the best speech. Also got an important lead, right? So the speeches, of course, this opportunity to give a keynote speech will lead to future opportunities. And we want to make sure that we can really maximize that opportunity. And so once again, to prepare for that speech, let me have a quick look. So to prepare for that speech, we basically went through. She had a go. I think there was a separate one there with the edits, but we go through, we discuss it, we practice in terms of delivery, parts of we can add a little bit more, and it's all tailored to her personality, her vibe, and the goals that she wants to get out of this. She wanted to make a good impression. She wanted to be remembered, and therefore we lent into certain strategies that would help her do that. Next, a member who actually just joined us for several months and wanted to get better at communicating. She had really good language foundations, but really struggled to talk to new people. So she came along to a bunch of our workshops, and this is what she said.
For invitations and everything, I've been talking to different people, to people whom I don't even know, but I'm talking to them and I can make a small but meaningful conversation. So I'm glad that Odyssey Club has helped me, and you, of course, Ben, helped me so much to connect with people where I had a difficulty before. I didn't know how to talk to people whom I don't know, or I had difficulty making small talk.
So look, the point I want to make, I'm not trying to brag, but the point I want to make is that we have real world applications. There are real results that you will get by developing these skills. It's not just for feeling good about yourself. It's not just about confidence, although confidence is obviously a really important part. We want you to have the confidence to be able to succeed and have wins to talk about and to share with us, right? So we definitely go the extra mile, and this is very different to any typical kind of English program. So key lessons learned. Real confidence comes from practice, not from perfection. I think most of the people that join our community, because they are ambitious people, we spend a little bit of time trying to break down perfectionism. Perfectionism is the killer for progress, essentially, right? And look, I'm guilty of it. I am definitely a perfectionist. I have recorded this video a few times, but I'm trying to embrace that imperfection as well. It doesn't need to be perfect to be effective. And that is such an important part of developing your speaking and communication skills, because you are going to make mistakes, you are going to get things wrong, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop you from succeeding. Real world application beats theory. We have the opportunity to go the extra mile by actually helping you to give speeches and actually helping you to find places to grow, either grow your business or your personal brand. We will go that extra mile for you. So we're not trying to just, say, this is how you give a speech. All right, see you later. And then that speech never gets used. We want you to use the speeches that you're doing here. We want you to actually experience feeling nervous and apply these strategies to that. And then we take it one step at a time. And I can work with you. I will continue to work with you all the way with every step that you take as you move forward. Right? So yeah, look, real world application is a huge part, and I want to stop people from feeling like they need to learn English forever. I want to prove to non-native English speakers that you can really succeed with the skills that you currently have in terms of language skills. And if you work on your communication skills, you can have so much more. You can start your own business. You can start a side gig. You can start a social media channel. It's all possible. It's all doable. Lastly, the community has been such a cool part of all of this. I've been running Oracy Club, which is the community, for over a year now. And it's really cool to just see how it just holds us all accountable, even myself, when we want to participate in speaking activities and when we want to develop our speaking skills. So it's great to have a community of people who are engaged, who are supportive, and who are willing to do the work with us, right? We all do it together, and that's been a really powerful thing. I've seen a lot of my clients make extra progress just because they are part of the community. And since we started running the community, it's been great. So community support definitely accelerates progress. Now, I have 5 spots at the moment to work with me one-on-one. So if you're interested at all, feel free to click the link below. You can apply to see what that's like. Basically, first come, first served. But if you're interested, we'd love to work with you. We also have the community where you can come and check it out for free.